So the question of the day is, how much damage will a novice do in the attempted restoration of a vintage axe? Let's find out. Okay, so here's what we've got. This is a little axe, or a little hatchet, I'm sorry. My dad gave this to me after, let's say I'm 40 now, and I didn't even know about its existence until I was 19 or 20, I guess. But this was my dad's hatchet when he was a Boy Scout. You can't even see the stamping on it anymore, but I remember when I was a little boy right there. You can kind of almost make something out right there, but there was a stamped logo of the Boy Scouts on there. You can see made in Sweden, so a good steel. This is probably from the early 1950s, but like I said, my dad was never the kind to pass down vintage things like this, so I didn't even know about its existence until I was in my early 20s, I'd say. But I have gotten to the point in my life where I have a son who he's turning 7. He's turning 7 in, when is that? In June. Gosh, I need to be better at this. But he's turning 7 in June, and so I like to do special things for his birthdays. And so this birthday, I finally convinced my dad to find this and give it to me so that I could restore it for my son. And this is my first ever restoration of an axe. You can see it is pretty beat up. There's the edge. Got a little pitting right there. You can see it's been used. I've filed it just to see, but you can see it's been used to pound steaks, pound things. The pole is a little bit off there, a little bit mushroomed. It's obviously been painted a couple of times. There's a greenish paint and a bluish paint. The edge is basically non-existent. Cut a pretty thick profile on it there, so maybe more for splitting than chopping at this point. I don't know how much I'm going to do in trying to thin out the cheek there. That's actually okay. I might just try to bring the profile of this edge back a little bit to get a little bit better for cutting. But this is probably going to be a multi-part series, and today all I'm going to do is I'm going to try to use Wrangler Star's method. He used an angle die grinder and these Scotch-Brite pads. Again, if you go, I don't know how many people have used these, but I in the past have loved them. In order of roughness, they go the brown, the red, and then the blue. Sometimes this one's more of a greenish, but this is rough and this is fine. So I'm going to try. We'll see what we come up with. I do like these because they don't heat up the metal very much, so you can go pretty well on them and be fairly aggressive, I'll say, without it really doing too much damage. So let's get this thing up in the vise and see what I can do to it. Okay, so I'm about, let's say 10 minutes into this. Here's the before. here is the, let's say, after/in progress. So I've really concentrated my time out here along the cutting edge. You can see there's some, I don't know that I'll ever be able to get all this out, get down to a fine, shiny mirror finish, but that's okay. I don't necessarily know that that's what I'm going for. You can kind of see the way it's reflecting off. I'll come back here a little bit. Not too bad so far. This isn't my first time using one of these roll lock tools on an ankle die grinder, but it's my first time doing it on something I care so much about. So I'm going to finish up this front side here. We'll come back and compare what it is to the back side here. One thing I can tell you, in using one of these angle die grinders, I don't necessarily know that these little quarter cable compressors are the best. They're not bad. You know, they run my air guns and staples and whatnot pretty well, but this eats up a lot of pressure, so it's running all the time trying to catch up, and it's only 2.6 cubic feet per minute, and this is running a pretty high flow rate, so I don't know exactly what it is off the top of my head, but this is pushing my little pancake compressor to the very extreme, so it's taking me a bit longer. I have to wait and let my air pressure get caught up sometimes, so I'll go for a couple of minutes and wait for the compressor to get caught up and then go. But I'm going to get back at this and see what we can do to the remainder of this, and I'll let y'all see what it looks like afterwards. Okay, so all in all, not bad. You know, you can see I've still got this. These are major, deep dents there. So I'm having a little trouble getting some of that out, but I'm going to keep going at it. And that, for some reason, that paint is really deep, not coming out. But I'm going to give it a little bit more. This is just with the rough, so I'm pretty pleased. You can see I spent a little bit more time on the edge there. I guess if I spent the rest of the time back here as I did on the edge, it might turn out better. But all in all, I'm okay with it. You know, it still looks old, which is kind of what I'm going for. I do want to get these deeper spots out as best I can. I hate that that's blue. That really bugs the crap out of me. But we'll see what we can do with this. I'll finish the rest of it in the rough and bring y'all back once I get everything finished. You can see there's a lot of deep pitting there, so I'm anticipating this side taking a little bit longer. All in all, I'm in it probably about 15 to 20 minutes, maybe. Not super long. The biggest issue is God bless it, my little pancake compressor. If I had a compressor that could move more air, it would go a lot faster. But there's where we are right now. All in all, not bad. I'm pretty pleased. So let's see what we can do to the other side, and then I'll bring y'all back and see what we can do with the medium and the fine. Okay, so here's what we've got. I got both sides done, and I got the pole done. I will say I had to get this with the grinding wheel because it was so rough. It had been used to pound metal a lot, but I just touched it up with the grinding wheel, and you'll see that it's better. Still not perfect. There's a lot of deep dings in it, but I'm trying to go slow on it so that I can make sure and keep it square, or as square as it can. You can see I've tried to even it up a little bit. You can see here it's a little high on this corner and on this corner. So I still got a lot of work to do. I still haven't done either one of the top or the bottom. But I've gotten the sides. There's the one I started with. You'll see that it's really good. There's the one with all the deep pitting. I've gotten this about as good as I think I'm going to get it. I don't know that I want to try much more. I'm uncomfortable going much farther than this. So next I'm going to use my other 2 wheels. This took me a lot longer than I thought it would. I kept going on the pitted area here. Gosh, that probably took me another 45 minutes or so, and then the pole probably took me an hour or so, because I started off with the roll lock, and then I finished up on the grinder. I didn't show y'all the grinder. It's just a standard bench grinder, little Delta bench grinder, but I didn't show that to y'all because I honestly didn't think about it. Next video I will hit it with the other 2, see what we can get. Maybe I'll do a little work between now and then, see what it comes out to be. I am happy with the way the edge turned out. You can see I still have some work to do on the edge, but that's all fixable, I think. You know, that's something I can sharpen out. I like the way it's reprofiled a little bit there. Feels good, looks good. Still looks old. I didn't get everything out, but I wanted to leave the made in Sweden, and that the 2 spots there where the paint is, they're deeper than what the stamped inlay is. So I'm gonna leave that. So next time I'll hit it with the other discs. I'll work on some sharpening. This is probably going to take me 3 videos. I'll finish up this next time, see where we can get it. We'll finish the top and the bottom, see what kind of damage we can do with these 2. The next one, and I'll probably work on putting an edge on it next time. And then the last video will be putting a handle. I will say these are great handles. I'll talk about those in a future video, but great handles. So I'll handle it in the last video. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Again, this is my first time making a video like this, my first time doing anything like this. So if you got any comments, constructive comments, let's say, leave them in the comment section. I want to hear them. If you've done this before, you got tips or tricks for me, let me know. I want to know kind of what I'm doing wrong, what I can do better, ways I can improve. Maybe a tip or trick or shortcut or something that you found helps on things like this, on really old pitted axes. I'm probably between now and the next few videos going to go back and watch some of Wrangler Star's old videos. So he's very detailed on things like this. So we'll see what he's got. But if you have anything, let me know. I want to know. I want to know what you got. I want to know what your suggestions are. Keep it constructive. Yeah, let's say keep it constructive. All right. Thanks, everybody.